Hello, people of Earth. I am Jibilis Prime. Today, I'm going to be showing you one of my favorite comics in my collection. Action Comics #1, June 1938. And before you ask, this isn't the original Action Comics #1. This is a reprint my mom got me on Amazon. And another gift from my mom. 2 in a row. Who knew? Mom, if you're watching this, thank you for this book. This thing right here. Now, on to the contents. And I'm going to be gentle opening this. I opened it, and you see this right here. This comic book. It has a nice glossy paper on the front. On the inside, boom, newsprint like the old days. See, good old newsprint. And they've got and you can see Superman is in the cover, basically throwing a car at a small mountain or something, a rock. And before you ask, he is not causing damage to private property. He's actually, in the story, Superman throws the car, the rock, to capture these guys right here, the criminals. Yeah, this is some big stuff. It's pretty cool. Here are the panels. The destruction of Krypton and Kal going to Earth, and here's something interesting that caught my attention that is in other versions of the origin story. Superman landed at an orphanage and they took him in. So I'm guessing Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, the creators of the character, didn't come up with the idea of Ma and Pa Kent, or maybe they did. I don't know. I could just be an idiot. Leaping tall buildings single bound, holding heavy objects, moving faster than a locomotive. Here's Superman! And here's another thing I've noticed with this. Just gonna go a few pages. And they forget to draw Superman with his cape in a few panels. Right here, let's see, these two panels here, right here as well. They've got drawn with this cape here. And as far as I can tell, that's about it. And look at this, nice 30s artwork right here of comic books. Oh, this paper is really nice to hold. Superman deal. And look! They drew his cape right here, the red area. They've got to draw it here. Man, National Publications was weird. And before you ask, National Publications was the name of DC Comics before DC Comics. And the DC in DC Comics stands for Detective Comics. So the full name is Detective Comics. Maybe I should have said that if I had Detective Comics #28. I'm not so sure. But here's Lois Lane as well. A guy that tried to hitting on her, and he got really mad because she rejected him. Superman follows those guys. And hey, look, the thing from the cover. See this? Thing from the cover. And no inconsistencies with Superman escaping these pages, so that is that. And here. And so begins the startling adventures of the most sensational strip character of all time, Superman. Only in Action Comics. Yeah, back then, comic issues like this one right here, they weren't singular stories about one guy. there were multiple stories in one book issue. And this is only 64 pages, as far as I can tell. And there are some other comics too. Hold on, let me show you. Sorry, right here. This black and white comic, Chuck Dawson. It's about a cowboy in the Old West. This didn't really catch my attention. But hey, I'm kind of curious if this is the inspiration for Jonah Hex. If anyone knows, let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. There's Zatara, another popular DC character. Zatara is the father of Zatanna, and you might have seen her in Justice League Action, DC Superhero Girls, and Young Justice. Those are her most noticeable versions of her. Well, in my opinion, anyway. Those shows were my introduction to her. And the adventure about Zatara, the Master Magician, are pretty cool. This trip here, anyway. Let's fight this little evil lady called the Tigress. Yeah, these trips are pretty awesome. Then there's this. Another thing to note, back then, people weren't sure if comics would be a big thing. So they created these small story sections right here, like if it were a novel. And it wasn't. It really, really wasn't. I'm not sure if I'm even allowed to show this artwork. Yikes. I'm just gonna skip that. There's this little thing, which is Sticky Mint Stimson. I hope I'm reading that right. Which is about this comic guy right here, this common crook. And it's in the art style of Popeye. So here's that. If you're a Popeye fan, read this. Pick it up. Pretty sure the scans are somewhere on the internet. There's Marco Polo, based on the game. Marco Polo. Fun little story. I'll admit, the only story that caught my attention were Superman and Zatara. The others didn't. I will read them later on, though. And here's this. Beth Morgan. A story about boxing, which reminds me of Rocky. Another black and white story. Scoop Scanlon? Scoop Scanlon. Yeah, that's it. Look at this. Basically the last story of the book. Comic issue. Oh, not really. There's Tex Thompson. Who would name a character Tex Thompson? Who knows? And it's definitely the full last story of the book. See? Another cowboy western. Hold on, on the other hand. And Stardust. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be like an advertising page for like another issue of Action Comics or just some TV show or podcast I was running at the time. And well, that's Action Comics #1. The End of Justice June. Pretty cool comic book, pretty nice, and I really, really love having this in my collection. Nowadays, getting an original copy, even a good copy, good condition, ranges up to the millions, even for reprints. So having this really means a lot to me. And another thing, this book is a Loot Crate reprint I found on Amazon. Yeah, Loot Crate products on Amazon. Weird. And I got this card of certificate of authenticity signed by Bob the Dio, and Jim Lee, producers of this reprint. And it's really nice. I'm really happy to have this certificate of authenticity coming with my issue of Action Comics #1. First appearance and story of Superman. Pretty cool. That is all, folks. Gibbous Prime out.